Okay, I am going to do my best to make this short and sweet. Got a 1980 or so pearl. You see that? Pearl, all maple. What I'm guessing was, I'm thinking they were still calling the MLX series at that time, but they may have already gone to Masters. I'm not sure. Anyway, this would have been a top of the line, made in Japan, pearl snare drum from 1980 or so, artist owned. As you can see, as I've lifted up, I've had some problems. When I came across this drum, there was a piece missing right here. This thing has a contraption much like a Rogers Dynasonic. Matter of fact, here's the contraption, just so you kind of get an idea of what I'm talking about. Much like the Rogers Dynasonic. I actually like the pearl version better. But anyway, originally had that, blah blah blah, out on tour. Somewhere that got taken off, and when I got the drum, it was kind of as you see it, without the snare system, the fat cats that I have, and all the wires and stuff that I've got going on. So I looked for the piece for several years, you know, swap shows, blah blah blah. The internet started to get big. I started looking on there, eBay, tried to find it, never could find one. Finally, after 4 or 5 years, I decided I was going to use the drum. And I worked on a configuration, and I've changed it a couple of times over the years. Regardless, drum sounds good. Right, drum sounds really good. And you know, and I've got it kind of a fat, you know, I've got a couple different snare drums, a couple different things. I've got it kind of fat, but I had been using this, what few live gigs I've played lately. So, long story short, after about 12 years or so of looking, I found the part that I needed to fix this drum. In Poland, of all places. Of course, I couldn't just buy the one part. I had to buy the whole contraption. If you don't know the way this thing hooks together inside this drum, the rod makes it so when you flip the snares on or off, the whole thing raises up or down and is either flat against the drum or all the way off. Both sides move at the same time with the rod. That's kind of the idea. So that's why I wanted to, if you didn't know this, show you the rod. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attempt to flip this drum over, cut this snare drum loose, cut the snares loose, put the bar back in place as it would have been, and don't change anything, no heads move, anything. We're going to see what it sounds like. I almost hate to cut that loose, but we're going to do it because I want to see what the real deal is. So this should not take very long, at least I hope it doesn't. Every drummer knows zip ties, right? Man, yes. Zip ties for the win. And I had to do that because the way this contraption was and what I was trying to do to make it work. You know, I had no choice to be able to get them tight because I really got no adjustments the way this is. So, let's see if we can cut these off on this side. I did also notice that on the strainer, the actual strainer that came from Poland, this nylon bushing right here is clear or white on the one that came from Poland. The one on this drum is actually black. Don't know why that would have been or what that would have been, but and I know that this drum was out on tour in '81, so this may be an '81, that may be an '80 feature, this may be an '81 thing. But you can see I just couldn't get enough on it. It didn't matter what I did when I put strings on it, I couldn't get enough tension because I was trying to do the wrong thing, right? I was trying to make chicken salad. We do that sometimes. This piece that I'm putting on here has its own butt plate. I'm not going to pull the butt plates off of this one too, because this one already has them. So there's the Fat Cat snares. I'll save those for something else. I got a drum or two somewhere, I promise. They will not go to waste. And if all goes as planned, this joker should just fit right down on here, fairly snug. Look at that. And it's just a one screw deal. And of course now I have these other parts left over that I will probably never be able to find another drum for, but you know, they say that it's not the destination, it's the trip. So this has been a pretty darn good trip, to be honest with you. Been fairly lucky, fairly fortunate. So these are, now the snare, the wires here are not original. The guy from Poland said he had put a set of pure wires, vintage or something on them. I'm going to take a guess. These knobs right here, if you don't know, these knobs stretch the snares this way. They tighten your snares up. Your mechanism raises or lowers the entire thing to the drum. Now, there is an adjustment you got to make. Let's see if I've got a screwdriver here to make it with. At least I'm hoping that's the adjustment you got to make. Because if it's not, I may have to back up and punt, and I may have to put that whole apparatus in there, but I don't know why I would have to do that. There is a screw, and I would bet that I had it cranked all the way down because I was trying to get as much tension as I could on what I was doing. Now, I'm just going to take a guess right here. to choke a little bit. Not a bad starting place. Sorry about the hum. I got something ringing over here from my drum set. Tried to put a cloth over it, deaden everything, but I don't like that. So it's just going to be a matter of getting this height adjustment kind of right on both sides and where it flips up good, and sooner or later I'll find that sweet spot. Take some work, and I've got to find out, because it's just a different adjustment, right? It's just a different adjustment from everything you're used to doing because of the mechanics of that whole thing. You know, it might hang on to that. It may come in handy. It may not let anything happen to that much yet. So it's not bad. I've got to figure out where to adjust those snares at. That's going to be, that's where it was. That's exactly. And it's kind of weird because one side adjusts it one way and one side you can't. It's not a both thing. You kind of got to find a sweet spot in the middle. Of course, I've never had one, so. That's all, folks.